In 2013, China unveiled the Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, a sweeping vision to reshape the very foundations of global trade and connectivity. This ambitious plan was announced with great fanfare, signaling China's intent to play a leading role on the world stage. Imagine a modern Silk Road, but on a scale never seen before. High-speed trains racing across continents, colossal ports handling goods from every corner of the globe, and highways stretching across borders, linking cities and nations in ways that were once only dreams. China pledged to invest trillions of dollars in infrastructure, offering loans and funding with fewer conditions than those typically imposed by Western banks. This approach made the BRI especially attractive to countries seeking rapid development. For many developing nations, the BRI represented a rare opportunity, a chance to modernize their economies, build new roads and railways, and finally join the global marketplace. It promised not just new infrastructure, but hope for a better future. The BRI was divided into two main parts: the Belt, overland routes connecting China to Europe through Central Asia, and the Road, maritime routes linking Asia, Africa, and far beyond. Together, they formed a vast network of trade and cooperation. Soon, trains could zip from Shanghai to London in record time, while new ports would spring up along the coast from Southeast Asia to the Mediterranean, transforming sleepy harbors into bustling trade hubs. The vision was clear: a web of interconnected trade routes, all radiating out from China, placing it firmly at the center of a new global order. Leaders from countries as diverse as Pakistan and Kenya eagerly signed on, hoping the BRI would bring jobs, economic growth, and a brighter future for their people. For many, it was a leap of faith into a new era. The world watched closely as China declared its ambition to reshape the global order, sparking debates in capitals and boardrooms from Washington to Brussels to Nairobi. The scale of the BRI was breathtaking, and the initial excitement was palpable. Massive construction projects broke ground, and hopes soared as new opportunities seemed within reach. Yet, behind the grand vision, questions began to surface. Who would truly benefit from these projects? Would local communities see real change, or would the gains flow elsewhere? Would the BRI be a win-win for all, or would the costs, financial, social, and environmental, outweigh the promises made? The BRI was more than just a series of infrastructure projects. It was China's bold statement to the world, a declaration of its growing influence and ambition. The stage was set for a new era of global influence, with the world watching to see how this grand experiment would unfold and who would ultimately shape the future. The BRI's core promise was connection, an ambitious vision to link countries, economies, and people like never before. It set out to bridge gaps in roads, ports, and power grids that had long held back growth and opportunity, especially in developing regions. In Pakistan, the $62 billion China-Pakistan Economic Corridor aimed to transform the country's future with new highways, a deep-water port at Gwadar, and modern power plants to light up cities and villages alike. Kenya witnessed its largest infrastructure project since independence, a brand-new railway connecting the port city of Mombasa to the capital Nairobi, promising faster travel and new economic opportunities. Across Southeast Asia, countries envisioned high-speed rail lines stretching from China all the way to Singapore, knitting together cities and markets across borders. Meanwhile, in Central Asia, vast pipelines were laid across rugged landscapes, designed to fuel China's rapid growth and bring new revenue to landlocked nations. In Europe, Chinese investment transformed Greece's Piraeus port into a bustling Mediterranean shipping hub, reviving trade and creating jobs. The dream was bold: seamless flows of trade, capital, and people moving freely across continents, all powered by Chinese investment and engineering. For many, these projects became powerful symbols of progress, hope, and national pride, promising a brighter future for generations to come. China positioned itself as a partner who understood the unique needs and aspirations of the developing world, offering not just funding, but expertise and collaboration. For a time, the BRI looked like a golden ticket to prosperity, with new infrastructure sparking economic growth and transforming city skylines. But as the projects rolled out, questions emerged. Could China truly deliver on its sweeping promises? And would the benefits reach everyone? The stakes were high, the ambitions even higher, and the world was watching every step of the way. The BRI's grand promises soon collided with reality. What began as a vision of prosperity and global connectivity quickly ran into obstacles that no one had fully anticipated. Many projects stalled or failed to deliver the expected economic boom. Construction sites that once buzzed with activity became eerily silent as funding dried up and progress ground to a halt. Countries were left with unfinished highways, empty ports, and mounting debt. The infrastructure that was supposed to transform economies instead became a burden, with governments struggling to pay back massive loans. In Sri Lanka, a new port in Hambantota failed to attract business, forcing the country to lease it to China for 99 years. The port, once hailed as a gateway to new trade, became a symbol of lost sovereignty and financial distress. Montenegro's highway project ballooned in cost, plunging the nation into a debt crisis. The ambitious road meant to connect regions and boost commerce now stands incomplete, a stark reminder of overreaching ambition. Ecuador's Chinese-built dam developed thousands of cracks, leaving the country with debt and a faulty power plant. Instead of reliable energy, Ecuador faces costly repairs and environmental concerns. In Pakistan, flagship projects stalled amid security concerns and political instability. Hopes for rapid development faded as delays and unrest took their toll. The Gwadar port, meant to be a bustling hub, remains underused. Local communities promised jobs and growth now watch as the port sits mostly idle, its potential unrealized. Instead of prosperity, many nations faced debt, dependency, and disappointment. Communities that once dreamed of transformation now grapple with the harsh reality of financial strain and unfulfilled promises. The cracks in the BRI's foundation were becoming impossible to ignore. Each failed project and mounting debt payment raised new doubts about the initiative's true cost. The dream of quick development was turning into a cautionary tale. For many, the BRI became a lesson in the dangers of unchecked ambition and the risks of borrowing beyond one's means. The world began to question, was the BRI a blessing or a risky gamble? As stories of debt and disappointment spread, the global community watched closely, wondering what the future of the BRI would truly hold. As BRI projects faltered, critics accused China of debt-trap diplomacy. The claim China lent more than countries could repay, then seized strategic assets when debts went unpaid. Sri Lanka's Hambantota port became the poster child for this strategy. China denied these accusations, but the pattern made many nations nervous. Another twist: China often lent in yuan, tying borrowers' economies directly to its own. To repay, countries had to boost exports to China, deepening their dependence. This strategy also helped China challenge the US dollar's dominance. For many, the easy money became a heavy chain, pulling them closer to Beijing's orbit. Economic futures and even foreign policies were now linked to China. The price of progress was sovereignty, and the world was taking notice. The BRI's financial web was as powerful as any physical infrastructure. While partner countries struggled, China quietly advanced its own interests. The BRI secured China a global network of ports, the so-called String of Pearls, from Greece to Pakistan and Sri Lanka. These ports gave China commercial advantages and potential military footholds far from home. Control over shipping routes strengthened China's export power and global influence. Some ports, like Gwadar, sit near vital choke points for global oil supplies. By becoming the largest creditor to many nations, China gained political leverage money alone can't buy. The BRI helped China win support in international forums and isolate rivals. Despite failures, the initiative made China indispensable to dozens of countries. The BRI was as much about power as it was about infrastructure. Facing criticism and debt-trap accusations, China shifted gears with BRI 2.0. The new message: quality over quantity, transparency and sustainability. China promised smaller, more manageable projects and stricter lending standards. International institutions like the World Bank were invited to boost oversight. The goal: shed the image of a predatory lender and become a responsible partner. Yet, many observers saw this as rebranding, not real reform. China's core goal, expanding its influence, remained unchanged. The world watched to see if BRI 2.0 would deliver on its promises. The test: would new projects truly benefit host countries, or just serve China's ambitions? As part of BRI 2.0, China launched the Green Silk Road and Digital Silk Road. The Green Silk Road promised a shift from coal to renewable energy, aiming for sustainable infrastructure. China pledged to stop building coal plants abroad and invest in solar, wind, and hydropower. The Digital Silk Road focused on building fiber optic cables, 5G networks, and data centers. Chinese tech giants like Huawei offered affordable solutions, but raised security concerns in the West. Partner countries faced a choice: embrace Chinese tech for rapid growth, or pay more for Western alternatives. The new initiatives aim to repair China's image and open new markets for its technology, but questions about security, dependency, and true sustainability remained. A decade on, the BRI stands at a crossroads. For some, it brought real benefits: new power plants, roads, and ports. For others, it's a warning about the dangers of easy money and lost sovereignty. China's reputation has been damaged by high-profile failures and debt crises. With BRI 2.0, China is trying to rebuild trust through promises of transparency and sustainability. But many countries are now more cautious, demanding better terms and more control. The future of the BRI depends on China's actions, not just its words. If new projects are truly beneficial, trust can be rebuilt. If not, the BRI may be remembered as a dead end, not a new Silk Road. The world is watching, and this time, it's watching with skepticism.